the Spectrum. The Capitals are still on top of the Flyers by 2 goals. The score is 3-1. Welcome back to Capitals Hockey on WDCA TV 20. I'm Oaken. You know, when you came to the Spectrum or even see the Flyers at the Cap Center, you could always, at least used to be, with guys that didn't wear helmets. Rod Langway, Marsh. But Brad Marsh is now wearing a helmet after, and thanks to Giant, we've got a closer look at that important implement, the helmet. Closer look at that important implement, the helmet. Hats have always been a part of society. In hockey, they have been found as gifts from fans. 30 years ago in the NHL, there were no players wearing helmets, but many of the spectators wore hats. Today, it's just the opposite. Few heads are adorned with anything but hair, while on the ice, there are only a handful of players left who don't wear helmets. Helmets are not just a matter of fashion today, they are a necessity. Just ask Quebec's Jimmy Mann about head protection. Or ask Winnipeg's Randy Carlyle, who survived this collision with the boards. Because today's players are bigger and faster than ever, the design of helmets is most important in their capacity to protect the player.
As you can see, the progression from the early leather models hand sewn to a plastic, engineered plastic with a liner that's designed to control impacts and distribute loads, and more people-orientated interiors and designs as opposed to the early saddlery, I guess, of hockey.
At the Cooper Equipment Company in Toronto, hockey helmets are not just assembled, they are subjected to testing that combines the toughness of a hard hat and the science of a computer.
What we do is try to simulate what is happening out in the field, and standards are set up based on how they should perform under a laboratory condition. The computer is used to take information that is collected through sensors that we use underneath the equipment, and by using the computer we can do much more sophisticated analysis of the impact and tell us more information as to exactly how the protective equipment is functioning under a specific impact.
Jack Cooper has been involved with hockey equipment since 1932, and after spending more than 50 years in the game, he says the equipment is still evolving.
We made over 500 significant changes in our protective equipment last year. These are not frivolous or cosmetic or aesthetic changes, but these are changes that were designed to improve the protection offered by the product.
And with this constant evolution, what does the future hold?
How about an environment for the hockey player that he has his own personal environment, so that while he's on the bench, while he's on the ice, no matter what the conditions are in the arena, he's got his own personally controlled environment that's possibly programmed to best suit his physical makeup.
Well, now that Brad Marsh has donned headgear, we've got about less than a dozen players remaining without helmets in the National Hockey League, and we probably got almost that many officials, referees, and linesmen wearing the headgear in the NHL. Our thanks to the people at Giant Food for that feature. We'll return with more intermission activity from the Spectrum. The Flyers in the second period. That was about midway through. Got Philadelphia on the board. Washington leads it 3-1. Mike Forens rejoins me. We'll recap that second period and look ahead to the third when we return.
The Washington Capitals have the lead over the Philadelphia Flyers. 3-1 is the score at the end of 40 minutes of play here at the Spectrum tonight. Mike Forens and Al Koken welcoming you back once again to our live exclusive hockey coverage tonight here on DC20. Well, a second period that was almost as good as the first in many respects for the Capitals. Philadelphia, for the longest time, only had one shot on goal during the whole period. A pretty big one, though. Mark Howe got a goal. Caps also got a goal from Mike Ridley, and that still gives them that 2-goal lead. Now it's 3-1.
Well, it was the situation that the Capitals have talked about as a team since they blew the 2-goal lead to the Flyers on the 26th, and before that to the Montreal Canadiens. Don't be content just to sit back and let the teams come to you and play defensive hockey. They really took it to the Flyers, as we talked about. The Flyers got that goal on Mark Howe, the first shot on goal, but that came almost midway through the second period. However, the Flyers did put on a great late rush. I think the shots finished 8-7 advantage of Washington in that second period. So the Flyers are coming on. The key, you just can't let them get a run. Capitals did a nice job after Howe scored. Even though the Flyers put pressure up, they did not get any more goals, although they had some glorious chances, wide open nets, particularly for Doug Crossman, who sent one sailing over a wide open net. So they had a chance to get within one. The Capitals need to play that same type of third period, and they'll be in great shape.
Let's take a look quickly now at our scores from out of town and the other games in the National Hockey League. First of all, the Islanders in Minnesota, 1-0 New York on the goal by Brad Lauer. Los Angeles at Pittsburgh, they are tied up now 4-4, and they're going into the third period. And the Bullets coming up with a pretty good lead over New Jersey in Wes Unseld's debut, so good news for them.
Well, it is good news for the Bullets. They certainly have been struggling, and we wish Wes Unseld very well, coming out of the business last year that he was here on DC20 as a commentator. Now behind the bench, it seems to be the way to go. I guess I'm going to have to wait for the right offer, Mike. You want to be my agent?
We'll be back with more hockey from the Spectrum right after we pause for these words.
Area Buick dealers. By K Jewelers, the Diamond People. By Safeway. And by Toyota. There's quality, and then there's Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
Capitals and Flyers back on the ice for the final 20 minutes of regulation time. You look back to December 26th, the Capitals entered the third period at the Capitol Center holding a 2-1 lead. Now it's a 3-1 lead. In that game at the Cap Center, Murray Craven scored, and then Ilka Sinisalo late in the contest to give victory to the Philadelphia Flyers. We've talked all night about the Capitals learning their lesson. We have a chance to see them actually act it out on the ice. The Flyers with some great momentum to end that second period. The Washington Capitals did their job protecting that 2-goal lead after 40 minutes of play.
Al, you mentioned that the Bullets with a new coach in Wes Unseld, as Abe Poland, the team owner, coming back from a vacation and making a coaching change. He was out doing some running yesterday as the Capitals were leaving for Philadelphia and came on the team bus. Mr. Poland giving another encouraging talk to the Capitals and telling them he wanted them to come to Philadelphia and come up with a win, and that he'd be watching tonight on DC20. And the players seemed pretty inspired. Gave a good speech to them in the dressing room earlier this year, and the team played much better after that.
Mr. Poland is a very involved owner, but that doesn't mean he's a meddlesome owner like a guy like Steinbrenner. When he talks, everybody listens.
The players taking his words to heart here tonight. They have a 3-1 lead over the Flyers. Sinisalo in and fires at the side of the net. Now Howe's shot is blocked. Derek Smith goes to chase it. He centers. Back to Mark Howe. Howe walks in, can't get the shot underway. Malarchuk leaning way out to try and move it. Gets to the point, but no further. The Flyers keep it going. Samuelson to the corner. Over to Derek Smith. Now Peters plays to Pavanka. A hit thrown behind the net. Pavanka is spilled, and Gartner has it taken away by Kerry Huffman. The first time all night that Huffman has beaten Gartner at anything. Here comes Gartner with a puck now. Racing in across the line. Tries to get past Samuelson on his backhand. He fires, and Hextall makes the save. Now off the backboard. Hextall blocks it. Here's Sutter. Jamming up there on the backboards with Kelly Miller. And it's played to the blue line. Kevin Hatcher keeps it in. Hatcher trying to flip it toward the net. Gets help from Bobby Gould. Gould drives it. That's kicked away by Hextall, and Gartner hooking Sutter down on the play, doesn't get a penalty call. Back come the Flyers. Gould steals at center ice. He's tripped up, but the Capitals are offside, and there'll be a face-off just outside the Philadelphia blue line with 18:31 remaining here in the third period.
The Flyers came out of the gate storming the Capitals, a flurry of activity led again by their defensive star, Mark Howe. Down there low, getting shots away, starting those plays. He's been given a lot of room tonight. He trails the play so well, and he picks his spots. Everybody clears out, gets plenty of room to operate, and he's had some good scoring chances tonight. But so did Mike Gartner, who came down there, made a little move on Samuelson, got a backhand shot away, and then tried to bounce a puck in from the backboards off the equipment of Ron Hextall.
Face-off back inside the Washington zone. Hatcher's there to retrieve. Leads it ahead to Bob Gould. Gould at center ice. Now back to Langway. Headmans the puck to Sundstrom. Back into the corner, and Zezel retreats in behind his own net. He's hit by Kelly Miller. Pass comes out to Mellenby. Now to Craven. Craven to the Washington line. Feeds it over to Zezel. On the return. Nobody there. And Miller goes to the corner after it. Stevens bounces it ahead to Sundstrom. Loses the puck in his skates, and it's taken back as Huffman pushes it into the Washington zone. Both teams change up the lines on the fly. Here's Christian at his own line. Taken over by Tocchet. Right wing pass now for Pelle Eklund. Fakes the shot, centers, and Tocchet lets it go just wide. And now a bouncing shot on the return. Just dancing wide of the goalpost as Malarchuk had been tripped up in the goal mouth by Tocchet. Scott Stevens to center. Flips across the line for Korovo in the corner. Ivan Korovo lined up by Samuelson, but manages to hold him off. And the puck recovered by Hunter. Right in front, Christian shoots wide of the net. Samuelson back to play it. Shell Samuelson stops behind the goal. Over to Mark Howe. Lead pass to center, and Poulin knocks it down. It comes back to Samuelson. Drives it into the Capitals' end. Here's Poulin to the corner. He's bumped. The puck comes right in front of the net. Holder plays it over to Smith. Greg Smith of the Capitals. Checked by Tocchet. Tries to flip it in front of the goal, and the puck cleared out of the rink and into the stands. There's a break in the action with a score. The Capitals 3 and the Flyers 1.
When the sun goes down, gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Wait for it. Light up the night. Wait for it. Light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night.
There you see the end result. Rick Tocchet just sliding the puck wide. That line of Tocchet, Eklund, and Poulin has given the Capitals nightmares all night long. You got two hustlers and grinders in Poulin and Tocchet, and a very slick playmaker in Pelle Eklund, and they have been most effective all night for the against the Capitals, although they don't have any goals to show for it. Plenty of opportunities and scoring chances.
Here's Greg Adams back of his own goal over to Hatcher. Now Rod Langway, the Washington captain, leads it ahead for Gustafsson. Gustafsson dumps it across the line back into the Flyer zone. Adams in to chase it, gets help from Lachlan. Lachlan hauled down on the play, and the Flyers take over. Derek Smith inside the Capital zone, bumped by Langway. The puck behind the net. Here's Hatcher to take it. Langway clears to the point, but not out. Kept in by Greg Smith of the Flyers. He drives it wide. Lachlan helps to press in against the sideboards, and a frozen puck with 16:05 to go here in the third period.
There's a guy who's going to get plenty of ice time throughout this third period, and Rod Langway has impressed me with the condition he came back to the Capitals in. Did not play a lot in his first game back, which was against these Philadelphia Flyers. A few even strength situations, some penalty killing, but got almost his regular amount of ice time the following night, or the following game in Toronto, and has played his regular shifts ever since. Does not seem to be hampered at all by that ruptured disc.
There's a new dad, Ilka Sinisalo, and his wife, proud parents of a new baby son born on Sunday morning. The second member of the Sinisalo family. Derek Smith on the left, Ron Sutter at center, and Sinisalo on the right wing against Gustafsson, who is out there with Gartner and Pavanka. Capitals 3, Flyers 1. Washington with 2 shots on goal so far this period. Philadelphia has yet to register their first. Huffman's drive is blocked. Now here's another shot that's kicked away by the pad of Malarchuk. Huffman tries to keep it inside the line at the point. Pavanka breaks free with it. He's in with a 2-on-1 with Murphy. The pass to Murphy, it bounces on goal. An easy scoop for Hextall. Plays it up the boards to the point. Gartner whistles one way up high into the crowd as Hextall had been lured from the net.
And he was almost burned again by Mike Gartner. If Mike Gartner gets that shot down on net, that's a goal for the Washington Capitals. Good play by Sinisalo to tie up Murphy. And Murphy can only get a little weak shot on goal, but look how far out Hextall comes. He's trying to do something with it, and he's out there banging it off the boards. Gartner's just waiting for it. I don't think he would have beaten the puck to the net. Ron Hextall I'm talking about. If Mike Gartner had gotten that down on goal, Capital Speed leading this 4-1.
Mikko Makela has scored for the Islanders, and Minnesota with goals by Ruskowski and Archibald. They're tied up 2-2 now in the second period at the Nassau Coliseum. Here's a hit back in Washington ice on Larry Murphy as Sutter ran him. Now it's played in front of the goal, and Scott Stevens tries to clear it out. Mark Howe keeps it in, centers, and Stevens bats it away. Over to Gustafsson. Up to Mike Gartner on the wing. Gets across the blue line. Loses his balance trying to pass to Pavanka, and the Flyers clear it all the way down. This will be an icing call as Stevens goes back for the touch, and there's the whistle. Now Scott Stevens bumped by Mellanby, an unnecessary tactic. Stevens just came lumbering in there, knowing full well that he had a good half-dozen steps on his man and touched the puck for the icing call, and Mellanby still gave him a shot. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back.
We're a team, my dad and me. There's a lot to do around the house, you see. Switch the switches, fix the door, and make a lot of trips to the trustworthy store. When we're stuck, they help us out with all the stuff we don't know about. My dad trusts the problem solver, and I trust my dad.
Trustworthy saves you time and money. We're the problem solvers.
We're at the halfway point in the season, which means there's plenty of good home games left. And you can be out there for all the action with a season ticket or a partial plan for the remainder of the season. If you'd like more information, sales reps are standing by right now. Give them a call at 386-7000. That's 386-7000, area code 301.
Dave Poulin back inside the Capital zone. Misses on his pass attempt for Eklund. It goes to Howe. He flips it in front. Malarchuk with two big saves on Tocchet. And then Bobby Gould trips him up. There's going to be a penalty call against Washington. Out of the nets comes Hextall. A sixth attacker is on. For the Flyers, Mark Howe tries to center, and Miller plays it. And the whistle blows as Bill McCreary calls a minor penalty for tripping against Bobby Gould. The Flyer power play. When we come back, there's a break in the action. The Caps lead the Flyers 3-1.
If you gotta go because a life's on the line, you better have it. Champion Battery. If you gotta go when it's 20 below, you better have it. Champion Battery. If you gotta go because the stork's arriving, you better have it. Champion. 700 cold cranking amps. Pound for pound the most powerful battery you can buy. Guaranteed to start your car. Champion. You better have it.
See.
Spectacular saves by Clint Malarchuk on Rick Tocchet keeps this a 3-1 Capitals lead. There is the biggest of them all. Tocchet with the save, Tocchet with the shot, and then helps Bob Gould along. A tripping call from Bill McCreary. The Flyers with the power play. Brilliant save by Clint Malarchuk, planted right there to stop Rick Tocchet.
Big penalty to kill here, Al, with 14:38 to go in the third. The Flyers will be trying to get back in this game. It would keep the Capitals' confidence up if they can kill this one off. Langway and Poulin push and shove from the faceoff, and Hatcher just taps it off the boards to clear it the length of the ice. Eklund sprints out of his own zone, motors to center ice to Howe, and he's taken away there by Hatcher. Now Langway moves it ahead. Gustafsson shorthanded, hooked to the ice. There's a penalty call coming. Delayed call. Out of the nets comes Malarchuk. Sundstrom can't get the shot off. And now he's dumped right into the side of the Flyer goal. But there's a minor penalty call coming as Gustafsson was hooked, and that will take away the Flyers' power play. Gustafsson, who has 4 shorthanded goals, Al, was threatening there for number 5.
Well, I think just in the way Tocchet helped along the call, the tripping call against Bob Gould, Gustafsson certainly helped this along. But it was his great play to get in that position that makes the difference. Whether he takes a bit of a dive or not in this situation almost doesn't matter. He beats Samuelson to the puck. Taken down rather easily, but that's going to be the call from Bill McCreary, much in the way Tocchet went down. But his jump right now, Mike, since that eye injury, which amazes me, you know, it must have been a situation where he got some rest, even though he says that was not the case. He was not playing with that same jump and that same speed until that eye injury. Sat out a couple games, and he has been flying ever since. And the way he holds things off, he has one hand on the stick, pushes things ahead, and then gets that quick accelerative jump to get ahead of the defender in these shorthanded situations. it has been a major factor in why the Capitals have only given up 5 goals in their last 50-man disadvantages.
Here's Langway, a drive from the point, but Hextall is able to come out and cut the angle down to stop play. So it's a 4-on-4 for another minute and 29 seconds. And then the Capitals will get Gould back. Samuelson will still be in the box, and Washington will have a brief power play. Hextall leads the NHL goaltenders in penalty minutes with 48, but hasn't picked up any yet tonight in a game that has been filled with minor penalties. Tom Barrasso of Buffalo with 32, and Detroit's Greg Steffen has 30 in the other NHL goaltending leaders in that department. Billy Smith, by the way, only has 8 minutes in penalties so far this year. Here's Gustafson back inside the Flyer zone. Tocchet to the corner for Howe. Taps it back to Tocchet. Eklund drops it off for Howe. He's hit by Gartner. And Gustafson takes over now for Washington. The Capitals play with it for a while, taking their time. Langway lugs it out to center ice, and Huffman pushes it back into the Washington zone. Hatcher turns it back to center. Eklund on the right wing over to Sinisalo. Hatcher grabs him, and Marsh takes it back into the corner. He's behind the net. Langway is right on him. Kevin Hatcher eases it up the boards out to center. 15 seconds until Washington gets the power play. 4-on-4 right now. Here's Langway over to Hatcher in the corner. Plays it up the boards for Dale Hunter. Hunter works to center ice to Christian. Christian gets across the line. Penalty's over. The Capitals get Gould back, and here comes Craven with the puck for the shorthanded Flyers. Murray Craven into Washington ice, tries to get around Stevens and bats it in front. Sinisalo can't get a shot off, and Murphy takes over for the Capitals. Larry Murphy up to center. Left wing pass for Scott Stevens. His wrist shot stopped by Hextall, looks around, sees company, and hangs on. Mike Ridley waiting there for any rebound that might have come from Hextall, but he wasn't about to let go. 6 seconds still left in the Philadelphia penalty now to Samuelson.
Well, Brad Marsh going in deep on this 4-on-4. Gets a little bit of lumber from Dale Hunter. It's popped in the side there, right around the mouth. That allows Rod Langway to get that puck out of the Capital zone. But Brad Marsh with the helmet now, back in action quickly.
Does he wear a mouthpiece?
Well, we're going to start now.
Here's a drive that's blocked by Smith. Scott Stevens lets one go. That's kicked away by Hextall. Another drive. The penalty's over. And Samuelson is back out on the ice. And now we've got a Philadelphia penalty to Greg Smith of the Flyers for knocking Ridley down right in front of the net. That'll give Washington the power play advantage. There's a break in the action with a score. The Capitals 3, Flyers 1.
If you gotta go because a life's on the line, you better have it. Champion Battery. If you gotta go when it's 20 below, you better have it. Champion Battery. If you gotta go because the stork's arriving, you better have it. Champion. 700 cold cranking amps. Pound for pound the most powerful battery you can buy. Guaranteed to start your car. Champion. You better have it.
Save $20 at Montgomery Ward Auto Express.
Be sure to be with WDCA TV 20 Saturday night, the 16th of January. The Caps travel to the arena in St. Louis to take on the Blues live at 8:30. It's all right here on your superstation for sports, DC 20. Greg Smith gets the penalty for the Philadelphia Flyers, taking on Greg Adams right in front of the Washington net.
The puck cleared off the glass into the blue line, and it gets away from Murphy. Larry tips it right at the point, keeping it in. Here's Ridley behind the goal. High sticking the call to Greg Smith of Philadelphia at 7:59 of the third period, giving the Washington Capitals the manpower advantage. Here comes Derek Smith to center ice. Gets across the blue line. Flips in front of the goal, but Larry Murphy is there waiting on it. And Murphy starts out. Murphy carries inside the line, but Ridley trying to slam on the brakes doesn't quite get the job done. He's ahead of the play. Offside is called. Now Dino Ciccarelli has scored to give the North Stars a 3-2 lead over the Islanders in New York. So that's good news for Capitals fans. Ciccarelli, Archibald, and Ruskowski for Minnesota, and for the Islanders, Makela and Lauer. Now the Caps need to get those Los Angeles Kings going in Pittsburgh. They're tied up 4-4 in the third. Malarchuk roadblocks behind the nets. Moves over to Hatcher. Out now to Dale Hunter. Left wing pass for Stevens at center ice. On the right side for Hunter. Into the Flyers zone. Hunter goes to the corner. Throws it behind the net. Here's Gartner. Chased by Samuelson. Out of the box. Both clubs at full. We still have Smith in the box for Philadelphia for another 45 seconds. At the point, here's Hatcher. Off the boards for Gustafsson. Jammed up as he tries to continue his power play work by Poulin. Poulin smothers him, and Gartner has the puck. Now back to the point. It gets away from Hatcher. He's got Tocchet chasing him, and Tocchet grabs a hold of his sweater, pulls on him, breaks in behind the net, tries to center, and Stevens blocks it. Gartner throwing a stick check right on Poulin, slashing him to the ice, and now he'll get a penalty.
Well, you know, the Capitals probably shouldn't complain too vehemently because they've had a lot of penalties go their way, but unbelievable. Bill McCreary's called a tight game and a good game. How does he not see this? That's the only way Tocchet can get around Kevin Hatcher. Probably there's no doubt that there were penalties taken against Tocchet as he comes around to try and get that wraparound attempt. And taken down right there is Poulin, but how do you not see the holding call that Rick Tocchet pulls right here on Hatcher? That's the only way he's going to get around him. And now the Capitals in frustration get a call against Kevin Hatcher that takes them off the power play that they had for the remaining 19 seconds and will give the Flyers one more chance with 10:20 left to go in this game.
That looked like a maneuver looked like a skating maneuver right out of public skating and crack the whip. Zezel leans in to work the draw with 10:20 to go in the third period. Hatcher for slashing at 9:40. 15 more seconds until the Flyers get Greg Smith back. Here's Crossman back at his own line. Over to Huffman, who will no doubt term tonight as a learning experience after having Gartner blaze by him on at least 3 or 4 occasions. A pass to Huffman. The Flyers are at full strength. Dumps it back into the corner. Langway there to tie up. Gould tries to skate free with the puck, but Zezel gets it. Off the skates of Bobby Gould. Zezel clears to the point. Crossman keeps it in. Malarchuk to save, and Kelly Miller comes out. Up to Bobby Gould. Gould throws it across the line back inside Flyer territory. The Flyers mount the attack again. 1 minute to go on the Washington penalty to Kevin Hatcher. Here's Murray Craven. Back to Zezel. Scott Stevens goes off the skates of Gould and outside the line past Crossman. Back to the Flyers end of the rink. Lead pass now for Howe. Mark Howe to Mellanby. Winds up his shot. Kick save made by Malarchuk. At the blue line. Mellanby taken away by Sundstrom. Out to Gustafsson. Bengt Gustafsson inside the Philadelphia zone. Leads it over now to Scott Stevens, who comes roaring in and fires a shot. Glove saved by Hextall. 20 seconds left in the Capitals penalty to Hatcher. Here comes Samuelson on the Philadelphia power play to Tocchet. Murphy with a stick check. Clears it back to neutral ice. 8.5 minutes to go here in the third period. The Capitals lead 3-1. Shell Samuelson into the corner. Scott Stevens lines him up and bumps him against the corner boards. Tries to pry it free, and now Stevens takes it behind the net. Clears it up the boards to the point. Kept in by Mark Howe. Deflected by Scott Stevens. Here's a drive, and that hit Poulin right in front. Now it's cleared all the way down the ice. Capitals at full strength. Here comes Derek Smith into the Washington zone. Rod Langway moves it out to center. Christian across the line with Corriveau. Corriveau has it on his backhand, tries to center, and Derek Smith takes it free. He sends it all the way back into the Washington zone, and Malarchuk leaves it behind the net for Langway. Derek Smith dumps it back into Capitals ice. 7.5 minutes to go here in the third period. Dale Hunter out to Corriveau. Again back into Flyers ice. Huffman up the boards. Hunter tripped up. There's going to be a penalty call here against Philadelphia for tripping. And it looked like the Washington player stepped on the stick of Kerry Huffman. There's a break in the action. The Capitals lead the Flyers 3-1.
On the first day after Christmas, my true love gave to me leftover turkey. On the second day after Christmas, my true love gave to me turkey casserole that she made from leftover turkey.
If the holidays are lingering longer than you expected, we have a suggestion. A pan pizza from Pizza Hut with pepperoni, mushrooms, almost any topping except one.
Flaming turkey wings. Ba-la-la-la, ba-la-la-la.
Take a look at it. Huffman and Hunter right down there by the bottom of your screen. We've seen guys who are so tough to get off their skates normally very easily put down tonight, haven't we, Mike?
Kerry Huffman can't believe it, and he's in the box. A crucial time to take a penalty. 7:13 to go. His club down by 2 goals. Huffman penalized for tripping at 12:47. The Caps have had a lot of breaks tonight and have used them to their advantage. Here's a manpower advantage now for the Capitals. Gartner goes to the corner. Fakes the shot, gives to Stevens. He lets it fly, and a pad save. A rebound. Gustafsson has it hop over his stick. Back to the corner, to the point for Stevens. Now to Gustafsson. To the right point, off Hatcher's stick. It comes to center ice. Here comes Kevin Hatcher up to center. Inside the Philadelphia zone. Gives to Gartner. Wrist shot goes high and wide off the glass. There's a balloon on the ice in the corner. Here's another drive. That misses up high, and now Hextall scoops it up and hangs on. And play is called with 6:27 to go in the third period. And the fans in the corner are trying to send balloons over the glass onto the playing surface. Crowd tonight, 17,423 here at the Spectrum. That is a sellout here in Philadelphia. I think including the 2 games at the Cap Center that were sold out, plus the one in New Jersey. Before that, Maple Leaf Gardens. And before that, at the Cap Center against Philadelphia. Sure, the game in Montreal as well was sold out. And looking back, Quebec had to be. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tonight should be the 8th game in a row that the Capitals have played in front of a sold-out house, both home and away. Here's Zezel along the sideboards. Moves it out to center ice for the shorthanded Flyers, who are down a man for another minute. Zezel across the Washington line. Stick check by Scott Stevens, and out to Dave Christian. Here's Christian inside the Philadelphia zone. Throws it into the corner. Hextall with a big swing of the stick behind the net to clear it. Now Zezel starts ahead to center, into the skates of Mellanby. That's taken over by Scott Stevens. He rushes up ice now for the Capitals. Inside the Flyers zone, centers it. And Murphy on his backhand couldn't get any wood on it. And it's covered by Hextall to stop play.
Boy, Scott Stevens continues to play an unbelievable game tonight. You know, without Gary Galley in the lineup, he has to be out there on that left point, and he's been out there almost the entire night on the left point. Here's Stevens swinging around, tries to get it to Larry Murphy. Murphy, instead of using the backhand, tries to swing to the forehand and can't control the puck, and there's Scott to try and give it one more poke. But he's been out there almost every single second of power play opportunities for the Capitals on that left point, as well as playing a regular shift at even strength, and certainly has got plenty of penalty killing time as well.
Well, you look at the last 9 games the Capitals have played. They've won 5, only lost 1. That was to Philadelphia, and have tied 3. So the Caps have taken 13 out of a possible 18 points over those last 9 games. And they are threatening right now to continue that string with a very big 2 points should they hang on here to win at the Spectrum against the Flyers. Philadelphia has been beaten 6-0 3 times this year and 4-0 once. But the goal by Howe has spoiled any shutout bid hopes that Clint Malarchuk had held, coming off his 2-0 whitewashing of the Edmonton Oilers the other afternoon. Michael Pavanka skates inside the Philadelphia zone, drops it off for Hunter. He fires, and Hextall comes up with a glove save. Now Adams is pushed to the ice by Samuelson. Hunter gets right in there as well. In the aftermath of that catch by Hextall.
Flyers backing in a little more and giving the Capitals plenty of room. Here's the drive from up on high. You see Greg Adams running through the crease, and then Samuelson and Zezel combine to shove him down. An extra shove from Samuelson, but Greg Adams bounces right back up, ready to go at him, as the Capitals have, as a team entirely tonight, have stood up and taken, as have thrown at him, and given back as well, if not better, than the Philadelphia Flyers. Rare to see in this building where the Flyers are so physically dominating, but the Capitals were ready tonight to come in and play. We're not intimidated at all by the tough hitting and hard play of the Flyers, Mike Keenan coach Flyers.
From the draw, it's sent over the goal back to the corner by Sundstrom. Mark Howe to take it, up to Eklund. He's chased by Bobby Gould. The puck thrown behind the net. Here goes Samuelson after it. Crossman clears to center. The Flyers changing on the fly. Puck sent back inside the Washington zone. Out comes Bobby Gould. Here's Gould cutting in, tries to center in front for Miller. And Crossman comes up with it. Leads it all the way back to neutral ice. Greg Smith of the Capitals to Gould. Back into Flyer territory. 4:35 to play, third period. Capitals up by a pair at 3-1. Right wing pass for Sinisalo. Dekes his way in. Stevens makes a stick check, but the shot still sent by Sinisalo on goal. Now Scott Stevens has it. Moves out to center ice for Miller. Too far for Gartner. Gartner and Huffman battling in the corner as the puck comes out to Crossman. Leads it out to center ice. Here's Hatcher, dumping it right back into the Flyer end. 4 minutes to play. Here comes Huffman. He's slashed by Gustafson, gets off a shot that goes into the corner, and Langway is there after it. Right wing pass for Gartner. Backhands it all the way down. Flyer fans start to cheer. Cutting down the middle, here goes Poulin. Wrist shot off the arm of Malarchuk. Now it's centered. It goes all the way to the point. The Flyers are pulling Hextall with 3:22 to go in the game. Now we've got a penalty call coming. It's because of the penalty that Hextall left the ice. It's a minor for holding. And that will put Philadelphia with a man advantage here at the 16:40 mark of the third period. And the Flyers with another opportunity.
Light up the night. When the sun goes down, gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, taste that's right. It's gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Gonna light up the night. Gonna light up the night. My Michelob Light.
Capitals return home to the Cap Center Friday night. It's the New York Rangers at 8:05, and all fans receive the Caps team poster courtesy of People's Drugstore. Plenty good seats left. Get them at Hex Ticket Centers or call phone charge at 432-0200.
Langway with the minor penalty at 16:40, and that gives the Flyers the man advantage. Mark Howe fans on a shot. It's cleared over to Eklund. He centers, and the drive goes just wide by Sinisalo. Back to Howe. Again to Sinisalo. Malarchuk with a kick save. Sinisalo back to the point for Samuelson. Over to Mark Howe. Missing Sinisalo in the corner, and Hatcher to Miller, and he clears it the length of the ice. Here comes Mark Howe. Tocchet dumps it in. Sundstrom along the sideboards gives to Hatcher, and he finds lots of room and clears it the length of the ice. Crossman on the feed from Hextall out to center. 2:30 to play, third period. 1:05 left in the Washington penalty to Langway. Here's Kerry Huffman. Huffman at the point. Firing. Malarchuk knocks that down with his blocker. The puck centered and taken away by Gould. Hextall out again. Moves it over to Crossman. Leads it up the middle to Mellanby. Mellanby cranks up a shot. Stevens makes the block. Jams up in the corner. Zezel skates away. Back to Crossman at the point. He delivers, and a pad save by Malarchuk, and the rebound cleared by Stevens all the way down the ice. 25 more seconds to go in the Philadelphia power play. Hextall's quick lead ends up on the stick of Craven and is sent again back into Flyer ice. Derek Smith cuts to center. Gustafson breaks it free. Backs it up to Hatcher to take up more time. 5 seconds left in the Washington penalty to Langway. Langway's back. The Capitals are at full strength. Here comes Sinisalo to the corner. Shot right on goal by Samuelson. Now he gets another drive. Malarchuk, another pad save. Stop. Two big ones in front. Off the stick of Poulin. Back to the corner for Poulin. He centers. Malarchuk with a big save there on Derek Smith. We're in the final minute of play in the period. The Caps with a 2-goal lead, and the Flyers are on fire, buzzing here. Here's Derek Smith. Back to Poulin at the side of the net. Malarchuk makes a save, and as Derek Smith comes in, Hatcher slows him down. And now a good grip in behind the goal there on Poulin, held by the Capitals' Scott Stevens.
As soon as the Flyer power play ended, they had the great scoring chances. First it was Poulin, then Derek Smith, and that man stood up to the test. He has been sensational down the stretch, has gotten better as the game's gone on, and some of his saves late in the second and all through this third period have been of the spectacular variety. There's the drive through, kicks it out, the rebound's in front, Poulin swipes, bounces on it, swipes it home, Malarchuk the save, and then Derek Smith will have another chance that Malarchuk gets a piece of. Terrific goaltending to support this 3-1 lead. Here you see it from behind. Look how quickly he's back up on his feet. He's down, but then back up on his feet, and there the Capitals get a bit of a break. That was through the pads, but just walks wide. But that's something Warren Strelo has worked on with Clint Malarchuk. He's an aggressive goaltender. He's a stand-up goaltender. And when you get those stand-up goaltenders down, sometimes they don't get back up in position quickly enough. But there, Clint Malarchuk shows the quickness that he has, and certainly it's been helped out by the tutelage of goaltender coach Warren Strelo. And now at the Philadelphia bench, goaltender Ron Hextall with this face-off in Capitals ice with 49 seconds left. Hextall pulled in favor of the sixth attacker.
Now the Flyers only had 4 shots on goal in the first period, 7 in the second, but they've really pulled out the stops here in the third, testing Clint Malarchuk much more than in the earlier stages of the game. Philadelphia with 13 shots on goal here during this third period. The Capitals have had 9 in period 3. Mellanby is the trigger man. He's back at the point. Poulin sets up front with Tocchet and Zezel. Samuelson and Howe are over split wide on the right side. And now Tocchet and Zezel try to direct Mellanby around a little bit. They want Mellanby to go over to the right side of the circle. Poulin to go to the left to take Gould, and now they back up Zezel. They're going to try to get Tocchet to bring it to Zezel. And that's foiled as Gustafson wins the draw. Malarchuk throws it behind the net. Langway hammers it off the boards and clears it all the way back into the Philadelphia zone. 40 seconds to play in the third period. The Philadelphia net is empty. Here's Hatcher going to the corner, slashed by Tocchet, behind the goal for Langway. Langway clears it off the boards and sends it all the way down. Gustafson's going to get there first. Gustafson with the puck, leaves it behind the net. Zezel grabs it for Philadelphia, out to Markow. 20 seconds to play, to center ice. Langway walks in and fires, and it's blocked. Markow with some indecision, finally goes and picks it up. Up to Poulin, 8 seconds left. He dumps it back into the corner. Malarchuk back of the goal, plays it along the backboards. I wonder if he's thinking of scoring a goal. Time runs out, and the Washington Capitals have beaten the Philadelphia Flyers 3-1. Now Tocchet gets jammed up in the corner over there, along with the Capitals' Kevin Hatcher. And some more players come in and try to leave some sort of message from the Flyers to the Capitals. Langway's in the middle of it. So is Bob Gould. But the Capitals have taken a lead in the season series over the Flyers 2-1. And for now, they are tied with Philadelphia and New York in the #1 spot in the Patrick division with 43 points. And now some more punches being thrown in there as the linesmen get apart and try to pull the players away. This game is over. Shots on goal in the third period. The Capitals with 9 for a game total of 28. And Philadelphia with 13 shots on goal for a game total of 24. Washington wound up winning 41 faceoffs tonight, and Philadelphia only won 21 draws. Normally, the Flyers pride so much of their game on puck possession. They certainly didn't have it from faceoffs tonight, as the Capitals have beaten the Flyers and now have a record of 19 wins, 17 losses, and 5 ties, and have gone 6-1-3 in their last 10 games by beating the Flyers here at the Spectrum tonight. We'll be back with more from Philadelphia after these messages on your superstation for sports, DC 20.